Vita Vea rumors just continue to heat up with the Los Angeles Chargers. We're going to dive into what the latest news and rumors are around him, and we're also going to give you some more camp takeaways. Chargers Now is presented by Prize Picks. I'm your host, Will Ortner, and Kay Adams. She was over at the Chargers facility this week, and she was doing some interviews. Fantastic job. Of course, you know me, very tuned in on everything that's going on the Up and Adams show. And Derwin James was asked a question about, hey, Vita Vea, he wants to be in Los Angeles. Now, Kay did say that he wants to be with the Chargers. That was a bit extreme, and we'll dive into that in just a moment. But Derwin James was certainly very excited to have Vita Vea on the squad, and I think a lot of Chargers fans certainly should be. Now, Kay had a interview with Vita Vea, at least according to Thomas Martinez here. What's important to remember is that Kay said when she was talking to Derwin James, Vita Vea wants to be with the Chargers. Now, Adams did clear this up. She said, hey, that was a mess up on my part. Bad intel. I think what she saw was the Vita Vea wants to be in California or in Las Vegas, and she just accidentally said, hey, he wants to be with the Chargers. But while she is apologizing for her intel that she ended up saying there to Derwin James, I'm going to say that her intel really isn't that far off. We know that Vita Vea wants to be in California. It's where he's from. It certainly sounds like there's a lot of interest from a lot of the California teams in going out and landing Vea. Now, he's not the same player that he was before, but he's certainly someone who can still play and play at a very high level in the National Football League. And in my opinion, he would be the best interior defensive lineman in Los Angeles, especially with the Chargers. So I'm going to tell you right now that I don't think Kay Adams' intel is that far off. Was it incorrect? Yes, it's incorrect. But if you are Vita Vea and you're saying, I want to play in California, well, then the Chargers are certainly a team that you would be wanting to potentially play for. Are they his number one team? Has he specifically said it's only the Chargers? No, and to be the number one team, not necessarily. But the Chargers certainly have an opportunity here to go and make a big splash. I believe that the Chargers need to trade for Vita Vea. It only makes sense with everything that they are trying to do. Let us know down below in our comment section if you agree or disagree with me on this point. The reason why I say it only makes sense, and it seems very clear what this Chargers team has to do, is the success that Vita Vea has had throughout his career. When you look at him as a player, whether he's been out on the field or he's missed some time due to injury, he's certainly someone that still does a ton of really good things. And for a player that is more of a run stuffer and a run stopper, Vea is able to get after the quarterback at an incredibly high rate. Now, last year, obviously, he started to take a downturn. Is that something that had more to do with the defense, or is it more to do with him being over the age of 30? I'm not here to point fingers at either one. It's probably a slight combination of both, but that doesn't mean that he wouldn't be the best interior defensive lineman on this team. When you look at Caldwell, Tomlinson, Tart, I'm not here to tell you that these guys are not good football players. Clearly, they're very good football players. However, they are not Vita Vea. There are very few nose tackles that are of his caliber. And so to me, when you hear that rumors are heating up, that the Chargers are a team that he is interested in playing for, you got to tell Joe Ortiz to go make the trade. And I can already hear you in the comment section of our video today, because there's going to be a bunch of people in there saying, Will, you're an idiot. How could you tell an expert how to do their job? Well, every other talking head likes to do it, so why don't I do it a little bit? But to me, it seems very clear. There is a player that is interested in playing in your state. There is a player that is interested in playing in your state that plays a position that is not necessarily strong for you. There is a player that plays in your state or wants to play in your state that believes that he could add to this team and would be willing to sign a long-term deal. Make the trade. It just seems that easy. We're going to get to those camp takeaways here in just a moment, but first, I need to let you know that today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports picks app and is the best place to win cash while watching sports. With the football season right around the corner, there's no better time to cash in with our friends at Prize Picks. And I'll tell you this, the app is really easy to use. For player picks, just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. That's it. Prize Picks is available in most states, including California, Texas, and Florida. One thing I love is the new social feeds feature, where you can share Prize Picks with your friends and copy lineups with a single click. You can actually follow me on the app at BigWill7774 to see all of my lineups. I have a lineup for the football action going on later on this year. Justin Herbert, more on his pass yards. Quentin Johnston, more on his receiving TDs. Rashid Shaheed, more on his receiving yards. New user offer. Best of all, play your first $5 and get $150 in lineups if you win. Just use code HMA when you sign up. That's right. Prize Picks just switched up their offer, so there's no better time to join. Lock in and win that first lineup. That's code HMA at sign up to get $150 in bonus lineups if you win your first $5 plus lineup. So let's get into those camp takeaways because we've already seen the action get going and rolling for this team. And I think it's important to talk about some of the players that, in my opinion, have been showing out so far for the Chargers. Quentin Johnston, he is someone that had to take a gigantic step forward for this team, or at least one or two medium steps. And I certainly think that, yeah, it's early. It's only really through a day or two of practice. He's looked really good. This one-handed catch was absolutely unbelievable for Johnston. Now, I got to see the full video on today's video of what we're doing. We can only show you the picture. I'm telling you right now, do your due diligence. Go and find this video over on social media. The Chargers put it out. Man, it is a fantastic snag. I fully expect a big season from Johnston. One, he's got to feel a lot more comfortable in Los Angeles. When they picked up his fifth-year option, it's clear that they want him, and they want him here for a very long time. He's also in a system that's going to best utilize what he does best, and that's catch the football and then make a bunch of guys miss after the fact. In the past, he was asked to just be a deep play threat guy. That's not what Quentin Johnston is. Yes, he can do that, but he's great at making guys miss and finding a way to get open in the open field and get away from opponents. I expect a big year from him. Defense, there was a lot of energy. I know that most people are going to look on the offensive side, one, because there's a few more battles, and two, getting Mike McDaniel in as your offensive coordinator is certainly going to drum up a lot of excitement. But first-year defensive coordinator Chris O'Leary, there should be excitement for him as well. He's got big shoes to fill, and while he's not going to do everything exactly the same as Jesse Minter, he's still going to do a lot of things similar. And there were a lot of big plays for the Chargers. The two that I want to highlight are the interceptions for Still and Waxter. Now, that is a great sign for this team because Justin Herbert looks good, and he's looked strong so far. But Trey Lance, DJU, they're battling it out for that QB2 spot. You want your defense to be able to take advantage of some of the things that they are doing, and it certainly feels like O'Leary's defense is going to do that. We used to have a defensive coordinator at the great Central Washington University who used to always scream, "What's it built on?" We always used to scream back, "It's built on enthusiasm." When you're talking about that enthusiasm, it's clear that O'Leary is oozing that, and it's clear that the defense is wanting to play for him. When you look at the good defenses in the National Football League, a lot of those groups, they're high energy, high motor types of units. Certainly seems like the Chargers are building that in Los Angeles. Which player are you most excited to see play this year? In yesterday's video, we talked a lot about what the Chargers were looking like on day one. Couple of guys really balled out, a couple of young studs. We're highlighting a couple other guys that we didn't talk about yesterday that are having fantastic days for the Chargers as well. Is there a player that specifically stands out to you that you're like, man, I can't wait to see them on the field? Let us know in our comment section below. Lastly, I want to highlight on Khalil Mack being a great veteran leader. And that's certainly something that he's going to be asked to do this coming year. He is an older guy. He's been in the league for a while. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, and he's probably going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer getting that gold jacket. But that doesn't mean that Khalil Mack can just focus on himself. At this point in the game, part of the reason why you have him on your team isn't just what he's going to do for your defense. It's also a lot of what you are going to do for the other players around you. Now, unfortunately, this is a video, so again, wasn't able to find pictures of it. But Chris Rim had a tweet where he posted about Khalil Mack talking with rookie tackle Travis Burke. Now, when you play on the same team, there's going to be more interactions between defensive linemen, edge rushers, and offensive linemen. I hope that Mack isn't giving tips away to other offensive linemen on how to stop him, but I'm super excited and super happy, hyped up to see him have this excitement with Travis Burke. Burke is a young player. He's not going to be a starting tackle for this Chargers team, but he could be the swing tackle. If there's an injury, you need him out on the field, and you need him helping this team. Khalil Mack is telling him, hey, this is what you should be looking for here. This is how to stop this move. This is what a edge rusher is going to try and do to you here. I love this. The best teams are led by older veterans going out and telling the young guys, hey, this is what you need to be prepared for. This is what you need to have your eyes open to. I love that Khalil Mack is taking on a veteran leadership role, and I love that he's willing to talk with some of the younger players on the other side of the football. That's a great thing. The best teams are led this way. Hit that subscribe button. Never miss any Chargers content all year long. Haven't decided yet if we're going to do a PM video. If we do, you don't want to miss that. That's why you're subscribed. If we hold off, we wait until tomorrow, you're going to want to watch that video as well. So make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. You never miss any content that we have here on Chargers Now. Thank you guys so much for viewing today's video. I cannot wait to see you next time. And in the words of the great Jim Harbaugh, bolt the freak up.